We've got some kind of wild theories going on. I believe I met your favorite character, one Barry Goodman. That is not. Barry is the fucking worst. Avoiding the festering death on Fata Friday. Oh my goodness. Hey, Dots. Yeah, last stream was a lot. It was definitely a lot. We learned about Giselle's past, which was extremely dark. And we are currently theorizing that the white-haired girl is actually the white-haired boy, Michael. Manga Gamer, home of the best VN ever. And a bunch of Aerogay VNs? Oh no. Well, yeah, so basically that's where we're at. We kind of think that maybe the Michael might be trans? Maybe the white-haired girl was the original daughter of the family, and she's dead in the sense that she's now living as a man, and that's why he was banished from the family. It just seems like that is very probable. I recommend you don't look at their website while streaming. Oh lord. Yeah, I'd never heard of the Manga Gamer before. Yeah, so that's where we're at with the story right now, guys. I'm sure there's a lot more details that are gonna get revealed in today's situation, but that's about what I got. It would explain why white-haired girl never had a name, because white-haired girl's name has just been Michael this whole time. All right. Right, this is the most recent one. I love that it says that. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Oh my god, okay. This is right after... This is right after Michael showed up, to save her from that fucked up village that was, like, doing horrible things to her. You're here for Fat Morgan. It's time. I'm remembering how this ended last time, and it was upsetting. Save her and or yell at her because she led them there to rob him. Yeah. You can listen for a bit? Okay, sounds good. Story time. Right, she led the people from the village to the mansion so that they could loot it. And then Michael chased them off and took Giselle back. Unsure what else I could do for her. I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I don't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them, and from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were about to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, an oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face to face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even if down that road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, would you please tell me what you did at. No. What was done to you at my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion, and what happened after you left? I would like to know everything from start to finish. Oh, he's literally asking for a trauma dump. Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. I I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me, even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village? I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Hey, Bubble Wand. Happy Sunday, welcome on in. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an Abigail to earn money for her family, of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her, of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words
There's
to each
no
event.
doubt. It's shit.
Your dad and the village are all shit. Simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. Had heard her pained screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically to remain detached from what happened to her, to protect herself. Of that, I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do when I learned my father was a rapist? How was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. You see, that's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take any more. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word? Brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything. I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue if you will. I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first I assumed it would be essentially a private prison, but in the carriage on the way here I was given a letter. A letter from whom? It didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that. Gender neutral. And it did ask me to look after you. Do you still have the letter? I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, it was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter. It was anything but. What? It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead. So, he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. Okay, well that proves that he's the white-haired girl. Because the white-haired girl is supposed to be the youngest of the children, and the mother said that the white-haired girl is dead. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything. Yeah, definitely white-haired guy. The dead twin sister. Not this again. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive. Then who? It could be the youngest living child. True. My brother, I believe. Either Didier or George. Georges. But I would guess Didier. Your brother? Why would he? I do not know. I can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me. I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you. And why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest. Alright. Giselle resumed her story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described that night in the rain, listening to the thunder, when she gave up on living, and I knew I had caused it. She then told me of the time she spent in the nearby village. How at first life seemed wonderful, but in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air as she exhaled. That is everything. You believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? My friend started Fata Morgana, and he was telling me about his experience on his stream last night. Oh boy. Yeah, door 1's interesting, isn't it? Is stream dropping frames, or is it my end? I don't see any dropped frames on my end. Haircut scene, I know, ridiculous. Classic TexasNet. I know I wasn't
also in possession of the all-seeing eye.
Hello. Oh no. Seems fine. Okay, cool. Sorry, story time. I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but that day, when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father. It might not have turned out like this. The knife. What? You were holding a knife. Can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're gonna use it on me. Can't help it. Start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. Can't even form words. There's nothing I can do. Well, Giselle, Michael was about to use it on you. Jaw! Thank you for the 53 months, Jaw.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, that's not. How's it going, Jaw? Ah, now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away, because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time. I had assumed she was simply jumpy from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous, realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. Back in my hotel room, nice. Hope it's a nice hotel. What a damned fool I was. Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed, I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk! What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize. What? Apologize to me. I said apologize. That... I'm sorry. Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more. Oh my. Get down on your knees and shout it from your gut. I'm so very sorry. Was that a laugh?
Typical degenerate male.
Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange? Told me to do it. Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did. You listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed. Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I'd had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. Faced up to the truth, and you apologized. I'm gonna be opening my windows, I think, because I think it's cooled down enough that maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. Feeling was mutual, but for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. For that, I'm truly sorry. I don't understand. What? Do I need to get down on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You were a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Amadei was probably in on it as well. Get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You had nothing to apologize for. Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square. 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 We were both in the wrong, so we apologized and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. And you honestly say you don't find me revolting. That you're willing to forgive me for that. Didn't think I'd be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all of my family, everyone I had ever come into contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being his son, being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that. You're curious. What? Curious about what? No, not that curious. You're a strange creature. I'm human, you know? Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite the leap in logic. You know, I was at my lowest just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead, she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt relieved to see it. Okay, Giselle perspective. I really, truly wished I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I just had just a bit more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. Had my initial impression of him solidified too quickly, I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. The man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, and distress. Or at the very least, he appeared to from where I was standing. Michael was just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing in this mansion, all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair that you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you going to keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know? Be quiet. For the love of God, stop talking already. You always pick the worst time. What? Ugh. Excuse me? What do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't... Unbelievable. Just when I was starting to think you might actually be a decent human being, then you go and spout this. No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you. Who else could it have been? I was, talking to, you know. I have, a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts. What? Oh, the witch. Was there anything in the log back from before we protag switched? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, the witch is totally talking to him. Interesting. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna just run and put some fans on in the other room so that it ventilates in here a little bit. I'll be right back.
Where are you?
Okay, thank you for waiting, guys. I was just refilling my water and turning on some fans. Welcome, Ifrit. How's it going? Okay, so, Witch talking to Michael, but we're not in his perspective, so we can't see what she's saying. You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse. Sorry. Weirdo. How's the Sunday going, Ifrit? What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. Started moving things this weekend. Oh, right, yeah. You're, going back to your parents' place, right? Moving sucks, so I'm sorry. Also, there's a heat wave right now, at least down here. I don't know about New England, but it's probably not great weather. Moving in the summer is despair. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, the humidity. Don't remind me. Well, when do you have to be out by? The end of the month? Do you still have time? And if it was, even if he did, please tell me everything. Still have the week, okay. Still, that sucks to think about, like, oh yeah, like, during this week, I'm gonna have to, like, slowly but surely just keep moving stuff throughout the week. It's, like, exhausting. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please, if you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with. It's nice having the day to do it early instead of all in one day. Oh, that's true, that's true. Like, doing it all in one day is, like, one horribly exhausting, terrible experience, whereas, like, you kind of just, like, spread it out over the week. Visual's here. What's up, Visual? Moonlight Sonata. Okay. Where should I start, though? How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. Yeah, it sounded kind of like Moonlight Sonata. Didn't help I went to the gym and did the Stairmaster. With the gym's AC being broken? Oh no. RIP to the wacky touch people and they die curse. Yeah. Usually I exercise on Sundays, but I just was not in the correct physical state to do so today, so I've been a potato and it feels wonderful. I'll get back to it tomorrow. It's too hot to exist. Yeah, today was very warm, and my AC has been in and out of being broken. I actually just made sure that it's all turned off, and I put some window fans on. So, yeah, trying to save on costs. You've gymmed once in the past month? Oh, dang, Barry. Yeah, I've been trying to, like, supplement days that I don't want to run outside, which I'm going to probably have to start doing more often during the week, with at-home weight workouts. I need to order more protein powder, maybe after stream today. I also tried, I got a couple protein bars from Trader Joe's that I've never bought before, so I'm kind of excited to try those after a workout this week. I don't have any magical powers like that. So what you said outside was a bluff, then? It was just a way to chase these villagers away. Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance, so you can't actually curse anyone, huh? Where else would they be from? Highly recommend doing overnight oat recipes if you're looking for a super easy meal/snack prep. Yeah, Carby was talking about overnight oats. I've never really done it. I'm not sure that I would like them that much, but maybe. Regardless, I am human. What do you put in yours, Barry? Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Oats, milk, chia seeds, and sugar. Maybe hot chocolate powder. I don't have chia seeds. Others would disagree. And the reason for that has to do with my body. Alright, we're getting into it. Your skin, hair, and eye color, right? Right. No, wrong. It also makes a nice pudding texture. People go all out and put in fruits and almonds and stuff. I would love almonds and some overnight oats, but I just love almonds in anything. Chocolate peanut butter. Seeing Michael under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. Cinnamon too? Yeah. So good with chocolate. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I'm oversensitive to sunlight. While little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside directly under the sun for more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon, so she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Just because you look different from them? The family's reputation was at stake too. If other noble houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me. I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have... I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me, and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon. I thought you looked like an angel. What? I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. It never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you've lived all alone in this dark mansion for 10 years. It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me the supplies I need. You big liar. Have you ever considered running away? That's not an option. Because of the sun? No. I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched to ensure I don't leave. Watched? They can't allow anyone to find out that I'm alive, particularly at the Bollinger estate. If I were to run, and they were to find out, I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. Have you ever thought about how this game embodies the essence of death is final, but not our love? Rosen, where is this coming from? Why are you having an Ava moment?
Yes?
Is it Michael or Michelle? So basically the theory right now is that it's pronounced Michael, but the white-haired girl from the previous doors, I believe, is Michael. I feel like I've missed a lot of a good game. This game, Nano? Yeah, this game is so good. This is a really, really, like, stunning visual novel. Maybe some of the best writing in a visual novel we've ever seen, if not flat out the best. Yeah, Fata Morgana's definitely, it's impressed us quite a bit. It'd be closer to Michelle in French. Michelle. That was a terrible attempt at a French accent. Michelle. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that that Michael is white-haired girl. And the real reason that the family banished them was because the daughter wanted to be a man. I don't know. Strictly speaking, I think it would be like Mitchell, but I've seen it closer to Michael or Michelle. I also don't know French to be sure about anything. It would sound like Michelle, but with a shorter... No, Michelle. Right. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up on that hope now, though. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it. I see. You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me. And all that remains is despair. Without hope, yes. That's not something that should ever become normal. So what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad. Don't worry, I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. The witch's voice? It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either.
These vengeful voices.
Well, there's nobody else at the mansion, so... Like I said, it sounds crazy. Not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years alone in one place and you're bound to start hearing things. He seems like a delicate person, too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him. Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. Huh? I've made up my mind. I'm gonna stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry, I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore. Will you now? If you hear it again, let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid. Never said I was... Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route. But there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Master. Now, where should we begin? I know, supper. Are you hungry? What should I make? Slow down, please. What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate. You actually intend to stay here? Again? After what happened last time? Because of what happened. Because of that, we're finally able to see each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. And this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master. All right. I can stay here, right? I don't mind. I'm glad to hear it. Say, yes, Master? If you ever want something from me, could I please ask you to put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Got it. Then there's something to start with. Here's something to start with. What do you say we open some of these windows? I'm just keeping up the master thing because I like it, I guess. Hee hee. Also, let's open the windows when he's sensitive to sunlight? Giselle? Open the windows. Yeah. You don't have to if you think it will cause you problems, but I think it would be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave. wasn't the one who barred the windows. He did say a bit of sunlight through the windows is fine enough. It's just being in the direct sun that's rough for him. Oh, okay. But also, isn't he, like, kind of in hiding? Like, he has reason that he shouldn't be discovered. So, like, opening the windows would let people outside see in. It's just strange, given what they just talked about. You weren't. They were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I am sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems. Alright then, can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten this place up. After a few moments of silence, Michael gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by rusted over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I had ever seen before flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. He needs Motonari Mori from Sengoku Basara. Which one is that? I think I only know, Date from that. Motonari Mori, Sengoku Basara. Oh, he's Cucumber Man! Wait, why do we need... Why? He uses a mirror to make a laser using the sun. That's amazing. Oop, that's the wallpaper. Oh, yeah. We have Taka and Mondo from DR as my stream, or my screensaver. Hee. But it was that final step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us it was a huge accomplishment. This time, it'll all work out. It has to. Cucumber Man. Yeah, so there's actually a Sengoku Basara fighting game. And in that fight, the fighting game is, like, hilariously broken. And that guy is, everyone in the FGC calls him Cucumber Man. I'm pretty sure he was, like, the most broken character in the game, too. Like, he had an infinite or something. Funny, random factoid about Sengoku Basara. Also, Sengoku Basara is a series that I've always really wanted to play, but I've never picked up one of the games. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together. I know it's an FGC Kuso game, but that's about it. Yeah, me too. I don't think I've never played it for sure, but, like, I've never even really watched too much of it. I just know the Cucumber Man memes. But now that I'm alone, in the dark, in the absolute silence of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. Starting to feel like something bad is going to happen. Like I'm going to mess something up again. We took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together, to keep thinking positive. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Thus saith the Lord of Hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, and she has betrayed her fellow man. It's alright. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you have to hold fast to your faith in the goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. There's no one there. What was that about? Oh, a glass? It's wine, and it's so warm. I guess he heated it on the fire for me. Oh, you. You could have at least said hi. I have a feeling this is gonna work out. Um... Are we okay with her getting wine delivered to her? Wasn't wine what the father was giving her when he was seducing her? Ooh. Okay. Well, we're back to outside of the door for a brief moment, I suppose. The light shining in through the windows is swallowed whole by the darkness, as if to say our time together never actually existed. We saw it, though. Together, we watched the light crack open the darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. Please find yourself.
Crack.
Please, Giselle, don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen that most beautiful light, Giselle. But are these truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's tale, like all the others we have seen so far? She was so bright and energetic, and I am neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own. That is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. It was all very much real. Oops, you're right. This was the Nelly story again.
Snip, snip.
It was all very much real, as were the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days. Those words create a strange warmness within my chest, but at that time, they make me indescribably anxious. Is there really happiness to be found down that road? Even if our past doesn't lead to happiness, it couldn't be worse than where we are now. Remembering that command in Indoor 1 was one of my finest moments. It was. It's so relevant. We also joked about her doing, cutting the girl's hair, and then she actually did it. It was so good. Come, Giselle, to the spring that made us more than just strangers. Master, come on, get up. Up with you. Master! Whoa. See, what did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Morning. Wait a second. Don't hide under your bedspread. Get out of there. I'm fine with my room staying dark. What's she even doing here? Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows. I did, yes. Don't worry, I've put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of birds, the swaying of trees, the rustling of leaves. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? Kind of. But you wouldn't be you if you weren't. So for now, I won't get on you about it. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind. I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. What did you think of me? Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you really are rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? Gender-swapped black cat and golden retriever relationship, right?
They lived happily ever after.
You have a pretty difficult personality, too. There's not a single good trait on that list. Now, hear me out. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice, too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me, too. It's just the beginning, after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Yeah, does your mind ever just, like, fill in the blanks when you're reading something? Because that's 100% what happened, Barry. My brain will be like, what is likely to be the next word in this sentence as I'm reading it aloud, and then, yeah. Oops. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to do before? Is this the start of a hentai? Good lord, Kites. No! No, no, no! Also, hi, welcome. Yeah, this is not... I mean, this has had some weird scenes, but definitely not hentai. Yeah, that was Steins Gate. Fucking Steins Gate. Where should we begin? Oh, I know. We can get this place cleaned up. You want to clean. Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Every time I go to the visual novel Reddit and see some of the threads there, I feel like I need to scrub my skin for an hour straight. Yeah. The music is nice. Yeah, this game's soundtrack and visuals are really, really, really good. This game in general's just been so good. Like dust. All over the place. My vision was still slightly unfocused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus's embrace, but I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. That was the first time I'd gotten a good look at her in the light. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of the tribulation she had endured tainted her pure jade eyes. She's surprisingly good looking. I'm clearly not myself right now. Is something the matter, Master? I know, you're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm just gonna have to throw my best bucket of water on you. What is a best bucket of water? I'm awake. Is there something on my face, then? Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. I got my first decent look at... Oh. Switching perspectives again. I got my first decent look at Michael's face under the light that morning. watching him stifle a yawn as he crawled out of bed. All the little details I hadn't been able to pick up on in the darkness, his expressions, mannerisms, and the way he looked at me. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. I was probably, no, almost certainly making a really dumb face at him. It's just me, or is he kind of, no, very pretty? How could I not have noticed until now? Oh geez, wow, I can't look at him in the eyes. Yes, what can I do for you? Is there something on my face? Well, no, Huh? Hair monster! Excuse me. No, your hair, it's really long. Yes, that's it. Way too long. Oh, is that any way for a servant to speak to her master? I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status against you anymore. I see. It's really hard to tell if he's joking or not. So, about that cleaning. May I wash my face first? What? You're gonna help? As I just said, I'm not going to act like I'm superior to you anymore. I'm noticing, he's not holding the candle anymore, so the portrait just looks a little bit different. What are you snickering about? I can't help it. I'm happy. If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it. Huh? I can cut it? Of course. I'll give you the best haircut you've ever had. Oh, but I should warn you, you'll want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always said you were as likely to lose an ear if you were your hair whenever I cut it. You stay away from me. I hope it's a bob. I don't think she's gonna cut his hair. Michael wouldn't be Michael without the giant locks. Hey, yeah, Giselle, you have not met Nelly yet. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day following our opening up to each other. Maybe this was normal, but... Oh, and I had simply never felt it before. I didn't know. I had thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail, but here I was a day later, already there. Was that how it usually worked? Did people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. All that friction had dissipated in an instant, and it was like we had known each other for years. Though not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I had always done by myself. Hey, I see you shoving aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything. Do you have any idea why there was so much rotting parsnip in the cellar? I don't care for it. You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh. You're not a kid, so don't be picky. It's not good for you. It hasn't caused any problems thus far. It will soon enough. Can't believe you. We have limited supplies, and you won't eat your vegetables. Oh, question. I've got an idea. Go on. Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone? Meaning, I was just wondering if it was possible to make requests. If I could, I would go out on a shopping trip. Perish the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from. Right. Say, are you saying that out of concern for... Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night, and I'm not interested in throwing more servants to the lions. You know, You're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Back to your question about the delivery, yes, you can. Linda, thank you for the 16 months on this account. How are you?
Hope you all are enjoying Megan Trainor's new album, Timeless. Also be on the lookout for Camila Cabello's new album.
Cabello's new album. Well, definitely, totally listening and enjoying Thomas. Yep. It's actually on right now. Amazing. I haven't made any requests recently, but you can write what you want on a sheet of parchment, or if we don't have any, something similar. Put it in the box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive with the next package. Why? Is there something you need? Yeah, I was hoping to increase our selection of vegetables. And while I'm at it, if possible... Actually, that's a secret. Let's request a second mansion. Oh, Lord. A secret. It's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right. Oh, no. My relationship with Michael gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friends. He was still my master, but he allowed me to almost complete freedom, and he didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. Though he was still not very talkative and oftentimes hard to read, he at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself, though not in much detail, and any time his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to this remote mansion. Oh. So the brothers faked the death of the daughter and then sent the daughter to the remote mansion. That was so much. What is so much? I see. Okay. So this is important. This is relevant. I had never encountered Michael's brothers while at the family estate, but assuming he was right and it was one of them who had given me that letter, they were likely our only allies at that house. I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years, Michael had muttered. To which I replied, have faith. It was better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. My being able to find renewed belief in the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have that faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling life, it was a humble, simple one with just the two of us. But I wouldn't trade that life for anything. Some people might think it dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help with the cooking. I do, honestly, but just a humble life in a big-ass mansion. His dad wanted to kill him, and then his brothers helped him fake his death. Yeah, and the plot point that the game hasn't told us, but we strongly suspect, is that Michael's actually a girl. Because the mother said that their youngest child was a daughter, and that she was dead. And now Michael's version of the story speaks as though he was a boy. Yeah, so pretty sure Michael's actually a girl, but, you know, we'll see. This is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront to gastronomy. This is an unearthly disgusting. Get me better ingredients. What? I am not a bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients. If they were better, they would taste just fine boiled. And it's not as bad as you claim. Besides, you make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've been eating this for years. I don't see the problem. I've heard quite enough, Master. This is also the part of the game that turns into a farming sim. It's feeling very slice of lifey. I kind of hope that they get through this quick. The rotting parsnip. Sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Not you wanting the impending doom to happen sooner. I know. I'm spending too much time with you, Rosen. I'm starting to crave violence. This is a farming sim. It would have been in the Nintendo Direct. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm going to wipe down the top shelf. I can handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on the chair. It's not as simple as just running a rag over it. Not this. I've got practice, so let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than I expected. I probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're going to want to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here goes. She's quite practiced. Is there any need for me to continue holding the chair? Shoo! Whoa, whoa! Hold the chair! Ow, ow, ow! I'm so sorry, I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master? Your hand is... What? Your hand is, it's on my chest. Not that, though. You like this part? It's slower and more slice of life-y, but it's cute. Especially after what Giselle in particular went through to get here. Yeah. It is nice that she's finally getting a moment to just, like, live normally and not be suffering, because, good lord, that girl's past. No, it was an accident. Right, it was. It's fine, really. It was my fault anyway. It's completely, totally fine. I can't even look at her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward? So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that. Wasn't Elisa, like, hung up on Brian touching her or, like, falling on her or something for, like, the first, like, 20 hours of Cold Steel? Yes, exactly. Not 20 hours. It was like a whole thing. The whole game. And some of CS2. I think yeah, it gets referenced every now and then, I feel, but I think she, like, got over it kind of fast. That's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was. But that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. I'm not concerned. Unfortunately, Reen is canonically gay and only spends time with Gaius. Reen's pretty gay with Crow, too. And we made him... We made him, hang out with Eustace. Carrot Top? Oh, I always want to say his name's Elson. What was his name? Jaw will support me in the Reen Crow supremacy. Yeah. Elliot! Right, yeah. See, it's close to Elson. Poor Elliot, I feel like I always use him the least, because he's probably my least favorite in the core casts. Elliot has a hot dad, though. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. There are a lot of hot dads in Cold Steel, that's true. It felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. Alright, what in the Steins Gate is this scene? You must be referring to Craig the Red. I am, yeah. Especially with this music playing. It's luring you into a false sense of security before tragedy befalls them again. Yeah. Not Steins Gate, yes. I hardly even perceived it as a breast. An obese rat! An obese rat! What? How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm going to rip every last hair off your head.
Turn to flames.
Ugh, leave my hair out of this. Say, Master, what did you do all this time by yourself? It's an exceedingly vague question. Say, when you were really stupidly bored out of your mind, what did you do to keep yourself occupied? Meditate? Just how many times have you reached enlightenment? I sometimes played chess, too. Chess? Wait, by yourself? Yes, I imagine how an opponent might react to my moves, and play the other side that way. That's kind of depressing to think about. How about this, Master? Play a game against me. You know the rules. You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with trends and know all sorts of games. Oh. Prepare to meet your maker. So, who was I supposed to prepare to meet again? Ugh. Come on, have a little mercy, you trounced me. One more time. I just wasn't at the top of my game. Ugh. When am I going to meet this maker? What? How? When did you put me in the checkmate? One more. Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. Ah, my king. Please stop. Amateur. Nah, can't you go just a little bit easy? You never asked me to go easy. This isn't a game, this is a slaughter. This is a one-sided massacre. About this maker. I'm looking right at him. That was actually kind of fun. Smug Michael's pretty funny. No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time, we're playing something fair. Such as... let's see. Oh, I know. Arm wrestling. Arm wrestling. Yeah, you sit across from each other, you put your elbow on the table, grab hands, and see who can pin the other down. Who would ever willingly participate in such a primitive competition? Not interested then? Or are you afraid you might lose? Alright then. I can't imagine losing to a woman. Okay, elbow on the table. Start on my count. Ready, go! Ugh. Victory! Sounds like she threw him. Oh my god, and they had fun in the entire mansion. Okay, smiling. Seems like a very happy VN. This is uncharacteristically positive for this game. She threw him through all those walls. Alright, before I get here, whoa! Mars, thank you for 38 months.
What is happening? What did I miss?
Basically, they're building up the narrative that Michael and Giselle are happy living together, and we are so onto them that Michael is actually the white-haired girl who's pretending they tricked the father into thinking the white-haired girl was dead, but now she's living as Michael in a house in the woods because the brothers tried to set it up to protect her. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, over 3 years even. Anyways, guys, I will be back. I'm just gonna step away for a few minutes, so sit tight, and I will leave you with the music.
Jardim oculta, a gente mostra sonhos. É muita demais, porque todas coisas falam mentira. Estou olhando azul em terra, pouco e pouco, água fluir.
Where are you?
What are you doing?
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Fecha seus olhos e rouba minha olhos. Se grita-me e espetam com boca fechada. Ainda estou buscando o pinch of fome interior de peles nossas. Pouco e pouco amassa de cair. Vamos, já paixão cobre as várias coisas no meu sonho. As asas da vida, o pétala brilha, flor de lixo bonita e a orfagem gato, perna da lenha sim, no jardim oculta, a gente nos decisões é muito tarde, mas porque todas as coisas falam mentira, estou olhando azul em terra, pouco e pouco água fluir.
Okay, thanks for waiting, guys. We are back. All right. When is the ball gonna drop and something bad is gonna happen? Probably soon, right? Thanks, Phil. Thank you. Are you 14ing? What's going on? Ugh. With each passing day, it grew less and less unusual having Giselle, always at my side. I was farming for last ultimate weapon before the new expansion, now knitting. Oh, sweet. Knitting and visual novel Sundays. This is just perfect. I began more freely engaging in silliness, speaking my mind, and showing emotion. I could say her name, and Giselle would turn around and smile at me, an unimaginable sight not long ago. For 10 years I had lived alone. Solitude had been my normal, and that was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I would say good friends was probably the most apt. Time continues to press on, our relationship remaining relatively stable. Eventually, summer came, bringing with it the longest periods of sunlight I had experienced in many years. Yes, Blackbird? Then the leaves began falling from the trees, and before long the world grew cold and dreary. That winter, the fireplace was never without a crackling blaze in its belly. The boiled wine we drank was undoubtedly middling and cheap. But, she said with a smile, I've never had wine this good before. And though I didn't say anything, I felt the same way. The sun set much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. Okay, so the wine wasn't any kind of nefarious gift. That's good. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Or because there's ale. Drunkenness makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to our ears. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say. Yes. Do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Please don't tell me you're bringing up that obese rat incident again. Not this. No, not that. Before that. Before we could actually talk to each other. I believe I suggested we read something together if you ever felt the inclination. You might have. I can't say I remember. Are you sure about that? You turned down my proposal, saying it was a waste of time. But look, it actually happened. If you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this moment would come. I was, for the most part, focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. But to be honest, I didn't expect there would ever actually come a time when we would sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book. You never know how things might pan out. I actually do remember. I remember how I tried to push her away, how much I mistrusted her. I was nothing but hostile towards her. People change, and perhaps, if they can, so can the future. Maybe I can hope that, like our friendship, there's a chance the future might take a turn for the better. Huh? Is something the matter? I don't care much for hypotheticals, but if by some chance I were someday able to return to that house, should that time come, that house is home to her nightmares. Even if it didn't happen until my father was gone, it wouldn't erase what he had done to her there. She acts like nothing's wrong, though. I don't know. Have her wounds healed, or do they still remain? Should that time come? Should that time come? If that day comes, I will do what I can to ensure you have a comfortable life in that city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I can work something out. I see. Thank you very much. But if you would be comfortable doing so, I would be pleased if you were to join me. I mean, as a servant. As a servant. Yes, a servant. We're, short on hands. I see. A servant. Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, as a servant. Alright, sure, I think I will. I would like to accompany you, Master. How exciting. I'm sure a wonderful future awaits us. I pray so. Now, back to the story. I believe we had just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess. I bet he was a big buff, muscular knight. Let's not talk about how muscular he was. You almost finished a bottle of hot sauce that you didn't care for? Barry. He was a buff himbo. The end. She let out a gentle laugh, and I thought I smelled something sweet on her breath. Was it her scent, or perhaps just my imagination? I had no way of knowing. We sat so close, even the slightest shift seemed sufficient to allow me to hear the sound of her heartbeat, causing mine to accelerate. Curiosities flooded my mind. What might she be thinking about right now? What does she think about me? And as much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment. I had just briefly lost my way. Though I tried to convince myself otherwise, it was all in vain. When had my pulse gotten so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When, how, why was this happening to me? I thought I had already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. The end. Good story. Before long, winter retreated and our second spring came to take its place. A full year had passed since we resumed living together, and I don't think it was my imagination that this year felt much warmer than last. Spring seemed to have arrived a bit earlier than in previous years. One night, when the breeze carried on it a pleasant residual warmth, Giselle escorted me out to the garden. Come on, Master, hurry up! It's the middle of the night. What's so important? I just found it myself, and I couldn't wait until morning. A rose! It's blossomed! A rose. Here we go. Roses again. Giselle had, over the past year, cleaned up the nest of weeds that had been strangling the garden. Off to the side of a small plot of turned soil, swaying in the wind beneath the moonlight, was a single red rose. And did you... Last year, I requested flower seeds, but I just couldn't get them to grow. And I was starting to think they never would. But look, it's only one. But it did. I had no idea. Of course you didn't. I didn't tell you. Why would you keep it from me? I wanted to make a gift for you, Master. What? Why? Roses make wonderful gifts, supposedly. No, that's not what I meant. Why me? I haven't given you anything. Consider it a symbol of my hope that we'll still be this close another year from now. The rose lore? I know. That's what I was saying too. I'm like, there's usually a rose in each of the stories. To some degree, anyways. We are? Then this is yours. I don't follow her reasoning. I don't follow it at all, but the sight of the deep red rose almost melting into the dark night was perhaps the most wondrous thing I had seen in my life. I had never understood why some people found flowers so enchanting. They were always just plants to me, but that one, on that night, was undeniably beautiful. Majestic. You'll catch up on the VOD like usual. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired tonight, so I'm probably not going to play this for super duper long. Just a heads up. Definitely a rest and recover day after my adventures last night. Like a young child seeing a flower for the first time, my hand automatically reached out for it. Not knowing the proper way to appreciate flowers, I didn't gently caress its petals or take in its fragrance, but snapped its stem. Oh, you picked it? Are you going to bring it back to your room? When I finally processed her question, that was when I realized I probably should have left it to grow in the garden. From the base of its stem, where I had plucked it, a droplet succumbed to gravity and fell to earth. With it came the delayed realization that I had ended the plant's life. But it was overpowered by childish possessiveness. This stunning flower was mine. Moonlight trickled down from the heavens, giving a gentle bluish tint to my hands and the smile on her face. You're going to need a vase then. Just give me a minute. For the briefest moment, the moonlight must have played a trick on my mind. Master? What on earth am I doing? A look of bewilderment filled Giselle's face, just inches from mine, which hammered in the reality of what I had just done. The thought had just crossed my mind that perhaps her black hair might prove a good backdrop for the rose, but it was supposed to remain a simple fancy. Yeah, so this is the same picture that they used when he saw Giselle's face in door 4, I think. What was that about? An excuse. I need a good excuse. A drawing. A drawing? Right, I would like to preserve it on canvas. What? What? I mean, that a rose on its own does not make a very compelling picture, so I would like to include you as an accessory. Wait, you want to draw me too? Merely as a background element. You're slightly more interesting than a vase, that's all. I've never seen you draw anything before. I just never got the urge. You know how? Many years ago, my brother taught me. I don't think I can handle being a model. I'm just drawing this rose, and I guess you too. I've never had a drawing done of me before. You would probably be better off with just the rose. You gave it to me, didn't you? That means I am free to do with it as I please. I did. I didn't mean to sound so rude. I had no real interest in drawing the rose, but I couldn't just take it back either. Giselle had shrunk back quite visibly, and I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eyes, so I fled to the cellar in search of supplies to escape the oppressive awkwardness. At the far wall, I found a rectangular panel of wood and several sticks of charcoal. My materials were obviously nothing compared to what a court artist might use, but I was clearly not going to be able to do the portrait any kind of justice. God, what am I doing? I want to bury my head in the sand. Giselle was waiting for me inside... Oh, Giselle was waiting for me in the stained glass chamber. It seemed she was still just as uncomfortable as when I had left her. She gave me a fleeting glance before averting her gaze again. If only she would laugh or make a scene like usual, it would make things so much easier. Why did she have to choose now to start acting meek? What should I be doing? Stay perfectly still, please. Do you need me to pose or anything? No, just get comfortable. Look away. Why? It's hard to work when you're watching me. What? I feel like I have to sneeze. Hold it in, please. What now? Can I see it? I've barely drawn anything yet. As long as our eyes didn't meet, I was able to observe her, and my gaze was quite clearly not focused on the rose, but Giselle. At first I had regretted my in-the-moment proposition, but I was beginning to think it hadn't been such a bad idea. Without some sort of pretext, I would never have been able to examine her so intently. I didn't have that kind of courage. This isn't like me. But what was like me? Did I prefer being sharp-tongued, unapproachable, and a sharp-tongued, unapproachable recluse? Was that what I had wanted to strive for? Giselle was like a gale. Her mere presence dispersed the gloomy cloud that always hovered around me. Thinking about it, it's practically a miracle that we ever ended up so comfortable around each other, that she's still here right now. Life from the moon spilled through the stained glass window, taking on a multitude of pale tones, before falling on her white skin and jade eyes. I had stopped sketching at some point. He is down bad. What in the world was going on? One of my roses had finally bloomed, which I thought would put a smile on Michael's face. But rather than improve his mood, it made him go all strange. It made him say he wanted to draw something. I had never seen Michael draw anything before. I can't sit still. I tried to sneak peeks of him every once in a while, but any time our eyes met, he gave me a stern look that way look. So I ended up spending a whole lot of time looking at the Archangel in the stained glass window. What could he be thinking? Could this be thanks for the rose? I'm sure he's not the type who would consider a drawing an expression of gratitude, though. If I'm wrong about that, it'll turn my whole world upside down. Maybe he wanted to draw me. No, not possible. That would turn the world upside down even faster. He couldn't. We're close, to be sure, but we're not that kind of close. That makes it sound like Michael's attracted to me. And there's no way. There's absolutely no way. He compares me to an obese rat and calls me an amateur at chess, laughing while he crushes me. So that's not what this is it? Oh, yes? If it's not too much trouble, you're free to leave. This will take a very long time to complete. Oh no, no trouble. You had a very stern look on your face is all. Shoo! Get her out of here. I was doing that bad a job at hiding it? I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want to. It was foolish of me to ask of you. I'm sorry. Honestly, it's no trouble. I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I'm not even that great of an artist to begin with. Oops, that was Michael. That's not a talent I was blessed with. If I'm being honest with myself, I can't imagine anyone would be pleased to have bad art drawn of them. What? What's he getting so negative about? I wasn't the only one making a face. His head was turned slightly downward, a forlorn shimmer in his eyes. I had never seen him make that face before. He resembled a child who had just been scorned by his mother. I wasn't at all angry or displeased with him. I was just fine, honestly. I had to get that through to him. By the way, if you accidentally move the lines faster than you mean to, I think... If you're accidentally bumping your mouse wheel... Oh, yeah. You can use the mouse wheel to scroll through them, or like even review what has already been said. That's how you pull up this. I am pleased. It doesn't matter how it turns out. You drew it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would... But the moonlight shining through the stained glass was so enchanting, I lost myself in it. I remember it was moving lines faster than you meant it to. Oh, yeah, I clicked something that, started making the lines auto progress, which I do not like that setting in visual novels because I have to read the line. Okay. Yeah, I had some of that Trader Joe's shrimp bao for dinner. Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though. Where are you going? Oh, okay. Yep, I'm good. Auto progress is the worst because I read slow, yeah. Well, I like being able to, like, stop and, like, talk about things, like, if I need to, or, like, react. So, like, having it autoplay, like, not only puts pressure on me to read it before the line goes away, but also I can't, like, stop to catch a breath and, like, discuss things. I'd be happy with anything drawn for me by the man I love. Oh! She just said it! For an instant, time froze. By the time I realized what I had said, my mind had gone blank and I couldn't form a coherent thought. I mean, like, you know, like family. You're like an older brother to me. I meant love. Like love for a brother. Hey, say something, master. Oh, well, that's clearly a blurry line if we learned anything from door 1. Give me your usual exasperated sigh. Come on now. Snip, snip. Go on, give me your best good grief, and then hurl me out the window. Oh, come on, please. Show me some disappointment. Haha. Master? When the wood panel he was using as a canvas and the charcoal in his hand crashed to the hard chapel floor, the clattering was so loud I jumped. I didn't have the presence of mind to wonder why he had knocked over the canvas, or why his hands appeared to be shaking. Let me help you with that. I stepped towards him. And when I did, the moonlight shining down upon us intensified, and our gazes of Jade and Ruby intertwined. Oh, both of their perspectives. There was a visible rosiness in his ethereally pale cheeks. Master? Flickers of panic darted beneath the surface of his normally stony red eyes. They were trembling as he looked over at me. I was at a loss for words. We must have been under the moon's spell. We weren't thinking. We stood alone in a frozen world, robbed of all rational thought. Riding the moonlight's current, his hands fell against my cheeks. It was much colder than I had expected, but it felt pleasant on my flushed skin. As we drew closer, I could feel the warmth emanating from his body, and I'm sure he could feel mine. The beating of my heart, too. His breathing stopped for a moment, then he gulped. He brought his head in. I closed my eyes and... Oh! Oh, not thinking of that! Then I shoved him away with all my strength. Ah! Ugh! Michael rolled back, knocked his head on the side of a pew, and began groaning in pain, which is when I finally realized what I'd done. What have you done, Giselle? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Are you hurt? I'm fine. Sorry. You startled me. I really, truly didn't mean to knock you down. You should go back to your room. I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you tonight. What? Get some rest. Good night. Turned away, marching off into the corridor and shrouded by darkness. There was a heavy air of loneliness hanging over him, which gave rise to phantom images of him actually disappearing into the darkness. I had caused that, but I hadn't realized until it was too late. It felt like someone was sitting on my chest. Why would I ever do that to him? Of course I'm going to hurt him reacting like that. Maybe I was hoping he would say it was just one of his jokes. Do I want it to be a joke? I had that option. I could pretend nothing had ever happened and tomorrow go back to the way things were before, but if I did that, there would almost certainly never be a second chance. You were okay with it. You wanted it, Giselle. Quit lying to yourself. You're the one who said you loved him, and that was no mistake. You wouldn't sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book with someone you didn't care for. You wouldn't enjoy eating supper with someone you didn't like. You wouldn't be able to live happily with someone you didn't love. You have to go after him, find him, tell him the truth. What am I doing, for God's sake? I'm not in my right mind. Something about me was off today. I couldn't control myself. I was saying things I didn't mean, doing things I didn't intend to. I had never meant to do that. But at this point, I had no choice but to admit my feelings. I couldn't pretend I didn't know what they were anymore. How long had I felt this way? A week? Month? 6 months? Or maybe a full year? Had they already developed when we started anew? No, when didn't matter. It didn't change the facts. I was still attracted to her regardless of when it had begun. But she pushed me away, quite literally. I sighed at myself. Why should I be disappointed? She was nothing like me. I was a recluse and unsociable, and she was the exact opposite. She was the kind of person who would confidently tell someone how she felt, and she had done exactly that. Like, I said I was like a brother, but I hadn't listened. As a matter of fact, could I have been any more presumptuous? I don't deserve to love anyone. It's better this way. Master! Well, I told you to go back to your room. Master, I need you to listen to me, okay? What? About what just happened, that doesn't count. Can't count any of that. Huh? That I said I loved you and then I shoved you. They don't count. Right, I was planning to forget that anyway. So don't worry. No, that's not what I meant. What I'm saying is that it's not something I should have said on a whim just because the moonlight was kind of pretty tonight. It wasn't supposed to be so casual. The way I said it doesn't get across at all how much I really care about you. It should have been something with more impact, rather. Me looking you straight into your eyes, my heart jumping around like it's on fire. That's how I should have said it. What are you... I'm saying I want you to give me one more chance to do it right. Giselle. Calm yourself. I am calm. In no sense of the word are you calm. Fine, then I'm not calm. But I am clear-headed. I mean every last word. Listen very carefully. I love you. I love you so much, I feel like my heart is going to explode. What? Huh? You mean, like family, like a brother, right? Romantic love. Romantic. What? I wasn't upset back there. No, I was elated. What? My mind couldn't keep up with what it was hearing. Half out of breath where she stood, Giselle was frantically insisting that she loved me. Was I dreaming? Master? How do you... I would like to hear how you feel about me. Assuming I interpreted that correctly, you were going in for a kiss back there, right? Right? So I can take that as your answer. Giselle looked up at me with bleary eyes. She had feelings for me. It was a miracle. I could hardly believe if someone like I could hardly believe. Okay, let's just redo. It was a miracle. I could hardly breathe. It felt like someone had stuck their hand in my chest and was squeezing my heart. I just had to say yes, and a smile would spread across her face. I could bring her joy, and all it would take was a single word. I had no reason to say no. My happiness was standing right there in front of me. What more could I ask for? All I had to do was reach out and claim it for myself. I had tried to do exactly that in the chapel, and I could do it again. I loved her. I was a twisted man, cast out of the world, and left with nothing. I had no way to make her happy, but still Okay. Now we're gonna hear the witch. Don't tell me you've forgotten what you are. Tell me! There was no moonlight to give me that nudge. Do not feel that way about you. What? I got confused for a moment. I apologize for the misunderstanding that seems to have caused. All the color drained from her like a flower wilting before my eyes. A heavy sigh spilled from her lips. Her jade eyes swayed lifelessly back and forth. I hadn't thought mere love could possibly have such weight, but she looked as though I had told her she was to be executed. I see. I'm sorry. I let it get to my head. Haha. Sorry for making such a racket. Really, God, what was I thinking? I got way ahead of myself there. Her faux energy hurt to watch. I had hurt her, and this was the result. You wanted to protect yourself, even if it meant hurting her. But look where that got you. You would have been better off just going with it. Because when she learned the truth, she would have pushed you away anyway. The truth that you're actually a woman. I'm sorry. I'll be going now. Sorry for barging in on you like that. She made her way into the shadows toward the door. There, you did it. You preserved your peace. I got the feeling she would never turn. Wait, what? I got the feeling she would never again turn back. Your mistake was ever getting close to anyone. What I had already wanted was right there in front of me. What I had always wanted was right there in front of me, and I was so close to obtaining it. And you pushed her away. I actually did love her. She would never love the real you. No, she couldn't. You're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Is that like what he's afraid of her saying, or is that a flashback? Okay. Good night, Master. She was leaving. I wanted her here, and she was leaving. I simply had to acknowledge my feelings, and she would come back. Was I really content to let her go? In my weakness, I mistreated her. I hurt her. I let her go, and I was about to lose her, even though she said she loved me. And I felt the same way. Wait, please don't go. Your voice is shaking like a scared child's. What are you hoping to tell her like that? She was different. She was probably no. She absolutely was nothing like anyone in my past. She won't be any different. I decided I would try just one more time. To believe in myself and to believe in someone else. I lied. Giselle, from the bottom of my heart, You'll regret this. No, I won't. I sincerely love you. The fragrance of rose enveloped me. Her arms wrapped around my chest were both imbued with strength and shaking like mad, as though the slightest touch might shatter them. Why didn't you say that in the first place? She said in a quavering, sniveled voice like inches from my ear. I lacked sufficient control over my mind or body to return her embrace, to run my hands through her hair, or to do anything more than support her weight. Sorry. Jerk, bully, brute, you didn't have to play this one off as a joke. I'm truly, sincerely sorry. You've given me two different stories. Tell me, which is the truth? Were you just confused, or do you actually love me? I want to hear you say it again. Truth is, I love you. Again, I love you. Without fumbling this time, I love you, as I've said several times. Not good enough. Again. Have mercy, please. I'm about to die of humiliation. Can I believe you this time? You're not going to say you were lying again? No, I won't. Then we both feel the same way about each other. Shockingly enough. What's there to be shocked about? I didn't think there was anything likable about me. Ugh, you really have to do something about that pessimism. I'll try. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. You are all over me. Oh, thank goodness, thank goodness. When you first said no, everything went black. I wasn't sure what I would do anymore. I had lost all hope. I really, really do feel bad about that. But you had a change of heart. Now you're willing to have me. Yes. And everything I bring with me. That was the idea. Absolutely everything, right? You're pushing that point rather hard. I have a request. It's something I don't think I could ask for. I could ask you at any time but now. While we're in the moment, I will do anything so long as it's within my ability. Tell me, what is it? Will you have a look at my naked body? What? More specifically, my scars. Are going to have to see them eventually. In which case, I would like that to be now. Mild content warning. Oh. Interesting. A year ago, I had refused to look at her... a year ago, I had refused to look at her scars. I had been certain I wouldn't be able to accept what they represented. The abuse my father had subjected her to. If possible, I would have preferred never having to face that. But I, more than anyone, needed to know. It was my responsibility. I had to accept reality, not grimace or avert my eyes. I had to face up to what had been done to her. Okay. I couldn't bring myself to look at her as she hesitantly disrobed. The sound of her clothes rustling made me feel as though I was doing something incredibly improper. As much as I tried to feign calm, I was so tense my joints were practically creaking and my heart felt like it was being stepped on. I feel like I'm made of stone. I'm ready. You can turn around. All right. I'll count to 10. Haha. She's laughing at me. I feel a whole lot better seeing you so nervous. I'm turning around. Okay. Her head was tilted down enough to keep me from making out her expression, but she couldn't hide the pink flush spread across her cheeks. Yeah, this is definitely a, this is a thumbnail grabber. It contrasted well against the white, or her white, but not excessively pale skin, as did her jet black hair. Sorry, it's not anything nicer to look at. In what way was this not a pleasant sight? I had never been more entranced by anything in my life. She was stunning. I had no measure of comparison, but I was certain the same sight of any other woman in the world would not have had the same effect on me. I could say as much with confidence, despite having never seen another woman nude. Hypnotized, I couldn't take my eyes off the gentle curves of her body. Were I more socially inclined, perhaps I could have told her she was pretty, which perhaps would have brought a sheepish smile to her face. Though I wanted to, my throat was dry as dust, and all I could manage to produce were incoherent rasps. Please say something. I'm hideous, aren't I? I'm unclean. You're not hideous. You mean it? I mean it. Why would you think so? Because You are not unclean. Not in the slightest. You mean it? I do. Even seeing this, Giselle's eyes slid downward, a trace of fear lurking just beneath the surface. Following her lead, I dropped my gaze. Yep. You've come back at a great time. Very big boobs. Yeah, this is the what was this? Manga whatever. That's how you know it's one of theirs. Yup, and there it is. Jive Turkey is the one to come in on this scene with no context. Yep. Good for her. After they had this tender confession of love, the first thing she wants to do is expose him to her trauma scars. Oh, you've read this. Okay. Yeah, this game's been really good. Please take notes for the Morimura cosplay. Oh my god. The Giselle cosplay. Oh my god. That is massive, Kevin. Beautiful game. Hope you enjoy the rest. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it up to this point. This episode has been a little bit slow, though. It's been, like, a lot of building up the relationship between the two, so now we're just waiting to see how everything's gonna go to shit. We still don't really know the origin of the witch, which I think is, like, the main, it's the main story point that we need answers to. And also, I need to be proven right or wrong on if Michael is actually the white-haired girl. Giselle's eyes slid forward, a trace of fear lurking just beneath the surface. Following her lead, I dropped my gaze to her lower body, and there I saw her scars, swollen red and black gashes, still not healed after more than a year, defiled her white flesh. As she had described for me, the lines were arranged to form letters carved into her skin. Ugh! So that's why she said I would have to see them eventually. My instincts told me that these were wounds she would carry for the rest of her life. I felt nauseous, heartbroken, infuriated at the fact that the person who had done this was out of my reach. At the fact that I could do nothing for her. What went through my father's mind when he looked at those? What did he gain from giving her these wounds? Why did he have to do this to her? Why my father, of all people? Giselle was the one with the scars. Giselle was the one in pain, but I felt like someone had shoved a handful of needles into my chest. Dozens of thick, metal stakes piercing the walls of my heart, blood streaming through me like a river. If I didn't force myself to face it, I was liable to run. What was the right thing to say? What was I supposed to tell her? As hard as I thought, I couldn't come up with an answer. All I came up with was an intense frustration. It killed me that I couldn't take these scars away from her. That I couldn't give my father a piece of my mind. You are in no way hideous, no matter what marks are left on your body. It took all I had to form that single sentence. Thank goodness. I'm so glad to hear that. When I was down in that village, they said it didn't matter what they did to me because I was already dirty. That made me think I had reached the point where I was so tainted anyone could see it. I'm sorry. Why should I apologize? Oh, why should I apologize? Was that the line? I'm so tired. I'm misreading so much. I'm sorry, guys. Why should you apologize? You were frowning really intensely. I thought I might have made you mad. No. I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at my father, the villagers, and myself. May I touch them? You may. My hands were trembling, and I knew I wouldn't be doing her any favors by hesitating. As soon as my fingertips brushed her skin, she shuddered. Ah. Does it hurt? No. There hasn't been any pain in some time. I could feel her trembling where I touched her. It didn't seem like it was going to subdue anytime soon. She began whimpering softly. Her lips moved as if she was trying to say something, but the best she managed was a few strained gasps. Tears had begun welling up in her eyes as well. I feel like I'm in heaven right now, but I also kind of hate myself. Hate yourself, but why? Because I can't stop shaking. I'm overjoyed to feel your touch, but I can't control my body. I know you're nothing like that, but I keep seeing flashes of you doing other things in my mind. It kills me that my body won't react the way I feel in my heart. Trauma. I was foolish to have ever thought these wounds might have healed. Just as scars remained on her body, so too did they remain in her heart. Unlike the physical wounds, though, the ones inside her seemed to still be raw and bleeding. She just did such a good job of acting normal that I had begun to think she might have gotten past them. Of course not, you blind fool. You shoved me back there because it brought back those memories. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm really, truly sorry. Why are you apologizing? I should be the one. Do you have any desire to place a curse on him? What? Do you want to curse Antonin? If you so desire, I might be able to make it happen. Uh-oh. Cast a curse on him, perhaps even a fatal one. Ignore the fact that he's my father. I don't consider that man family anymore. I want you to be honest with me. If, hypothetically, such a thing were possible, would you want to curse him? She's gonna say yes. No, I would not want that. Okay, I've been proven wrong. Why not? You have every right to take revenge. For what that man did, he deserves punishment. He inflicted so much pain on you. You're still shaking more than a year later, and you can just let him get away with it out of the goodness of your heart? Hypothetically, if you wanted to curse him, I wouldn't even do it hypothetically. And not out of the goodness of my heart. I'm just a coward. A coward. If curses were real, and he were to die by one, then I would never ever be able to forget. If my resentment took his life, that would mean he had damaged me so permanently I was never able to get past it. I don't want that. I want to be able to forget. I'm still shaking now, but one day I want to be able to proclaim proudly that it no longer has any control over me. But I appreciate the sentiment, setting aside your choice of method. You asked out of concern, and that's more than enough for me. A smile spread across her lips, but all it inspired in me was powerlessness. She was putting on an act. Was the sentiment really more than enough? Of course not. Not when she was still trembling so much. But what was I to do? What was I unable to leave this... Wait, what was I unable to leave this house and helpless against the will of the Bollingers to do? I was incapable of assuaging her pain, wasn't I? I couldn't do anything, could I? Before I throw in the towel, I need to take some real time to think. To stop running from the problem. To figure out the real way to give her what she wants. that doesn't involve curses or angry words. There has to be something only I can do. Oh boy. Giselle. I took the hand that had been tracing her scars and slid it around her waist. Even now, her trembling showed no signs of abating. I will never, the one thing I could do, hurt you again. Was to wrap her trembling body in my arms. I want you here with me. All I ask of you for now is to be at my side. You can be scared and you can quiver, but please don't apologize for it. Please don't feel bad about it. I promise not to turn my head away from your pain. So I ask of you, try not to keep it buried. I have no power or influence. I don't know all the right things to say. I am a man with nothing to his name. But the one thing I do have is a heartfelt desire to do whatever I can for you. As soon as I tightened my grip around her waist, she lurched forward, throwing her arms around me. Muffled whimpers resonated against her shoulders where she had buried her head. Eventually, they grew into unfettered sobs. And my bedchamber was enveloped in the sound of weeping. She cried like a little child. The usually strong-willed, cheerful, optimistic Giselle wailed from the depths of her soul. This past year, she had constantly been nudging me forward. It was always her leading the way. There had undoubtedly been moments where she wanted to cry like this, but couldn't. So, starting now, I was going to try and support her too. I was sure I would mess some things up, but, as I had little experience being caring, I would probably anger her, probably stress her out, and probably make her cry. But I had found my resolve. I had overcome my hesitation. I was sure I could do it, that I could create a place where she could find peace. I could surely. Giselle didn't stop crying until the sun had begun peeking over the horizon. I had, as I said, not looked away, simply holding her in silence. She had decidedly not childlike frame, but she seemed incredibly small in my arms. We felt each other's warmth through my clothes. Between sniffles, Giselle said softly, "Oh, I thought we were done with this image." "One day, I'm certain I'll be able to, without any hesitation, be properly joined with you, and it will be wonderful. Right now, I still can't control the shaking. But eventually, I want to be able to put my hands on you, too." The affection infused in each and every word was palpable. Sometime later, she drifted off to sleep, exhausted. I prayed from the bottom of my heart that at least for tonight, she would have pleasant dreams. Alright. Guys, that is going to be it for tonight's episode. I do apologize, but I am so effing tired. And it's, like, making me misread a lot of lines at this point, so I'm like, I gotta get some more rest. I believe I will be streaming tomorrow. I will get my week sorted out tomorrow and make the schedule like I usually do. We're getting fairly into the door at least. Yeah. So we'll hopefully finish door 5 maybe on Saturday, and then see what happens after that. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna split. So everybody, thanks for watching. Take care, and good luck on Monday.